Check out Ethereum rival Solana dropping 4% today after a big cyber attack targeted thousands of digital wallets. The hack draining over $5 million worth of coins. Solana's founders tweeting that the hack does not appear to be an issue with the network itself, but with the wallet software. For more on all this, let's bring in Meltem Demir's Chief Strategy Officer at CoinShares. I read your explanation, Meltem. I don't even know if we want to... I think, explain exactly what happened with Solana. If you can, keep it understandable for someone like me and maybe a lot of viewers, because it doesn't seem like it was a deeply ingrained problem with the entire protocol itself.
Yeah, and Joe, I was just saying, you're working so hard this summer. They got you doing mornings, they got you doing nights.
It's a privilege.
It's great to see you. So the Solana issue, look, I think it's really important to separate that Solana, the network itself, is not insecure. There are no issues with the Solana protocol. The issue is with a wallet that was used. It's a very popular wallet. It had an exploit in it, a bug that revealed the private keys. There's this great phrase in crypto, not your keys, not your coins. And unfortunately, this is really common today with a lot of the applications that people are using to access different protocols and different Web3 apps. Is sometimes there are bugs in them that are insecure that expose your keys and allow for these exploits. But just to zoom out a bit and give everyone a little bit of context, yesterday evening's events impacted about 8,000 wallets. There are 15 million active wallets on Solana every month. So as a proportion of the overall user base of Solana, very, very small. Of course, the goal is that this should never happen to anyone, right? Worst experience possible. But in context, this was a really, really small exploit, and 5 million in the grand scheme of crypto is not a tremendous number. Goal is 0, but in context, this was small.
Bonawyn, you got a question?
Hey, Meltem, Bonawyn here. So there's been much of debate made about whether these currencies are securities, whether they're commodities, whether they're going to be regulated by the SEC or the CFTC. Would you mind kind of shedding some light on what the implications are, whether they're bucketed as one security or the other, and how that might affect price dynamics going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think the biggest challenge right now is commodities and securities have very different rules in terms of how you bring these products, these listings to market, and the venues where they trade. Securities have to trade on national securities exchanges. They go through the SEC process. Commodities have their own oversight. They go through, obviously, the CFTC. They have their own process in terms of how products and markets get created. I think one of the biggest challenges right now is there are a lot of different types of crypto venues. There are regulated centralized exchanges like the Coinbases, the Geminis, the Krakens of the world. There are also a lot of decentralized exchanges, or these protocols that people use to trade. And so there's all of these different options. They all have different ways of interacting. And the biggest challenge is, what are some of the requirements around transparency, disclosure, right? We have this with securities. Are those requirements relevant to all cryptocurrencies? Are they relevant to specific subset? So there's a little bit of a battle going on. Crypto used to be a hot potato. Nobody wanted to touch it from a regulatory perspective. Now it seems like the SEC really wants to take the lead, but the CFTC is fighting back. So we'll see what happens.
All right, we're going to end it. Just real quickly, I heard Bitcoin 200-day moving average back above it. I mean, there's some. It's almost like the NASDAQ. It's so correlated, and I don't know whether that's going back to 17,000 either. But maybe not this week.
We'll see. We've seen a lot of inflows over the last month, around 400 million of inflows back into crypto investment products. So there are buyers. Not everyone's having a good time in Europe this summer. Some people are trading. So we'll see, but we're optimistic. And as we go into the fall, I think we'll get a clearer picture of where the momentum's headed.
Thanks, Joe. Karen, how would you trade this?
Solana?
No, I don't know. They tell me you want to trade something. I don't know. You trade Coinbase?
Coinbase sort of interesting. I do think. I mean, it's bounced back, but I do think they're in an interesting spot. They got a lot of wallet share, and I don't own it, but that one is probably one I could see. I do own, so I do have Bitcoin exposure. Had it for a long, long time. Took some money off the table and just I'm gonna see how this plays out. I actually think it's kind of amazing. It's not lower than where it is now, right? You talk about how it came down from 69,000 wherever it was to right here. You have a lot of stocks that have done that as well that didn't have anywhere near the upside. I don't know. It's not my normal thing, but I do have exposure.
I think if it's a risk-on market, I think you're going to get Bitcoin higher. But if you look at Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which most retail investors know, it's down 57% year to date, but it had a great month. If you look at Ethereum Ethereum Trust Grayscale, that's down 61% year to date, but it had an even better month. I think you need a risk-on market. I think everyone who talked about Bitcoin and crypto actually lost a ton of money in the last couple of months. Not coming back. I coach baseball. All of the younger coaches are talking to me about coins during the spring, about how much money they were making. No one is talking about anything now, and I think they're just upset with it, and they've lost a ton of money. So I don't know where the new capital comes in. I think there's a lot of regulation that needs to be done, a lot of fear of getting hacked, and a lot of people licking their wounds.